Good evening, everybody. My name is Paul O'Brien. Our chairperson is not here, is anticipated to be late. Mr. Thurston is in the building. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We're going to take a 5-minute hold until John gets here, and then we'll start up, okay? So please be patient with us. Jeez. Mr. Pinio, do we have a requirement for a non-public this evening?
Mr. Chairman, we do under employment.
Thank you. First item of business will be public input. Anybody from the public want to come on up and visit?
Oh, I was wondering what I did with that.
Oh, I have to go out, sorry. I have to go out.
It's okay.
Linda gave me her agenda, her cheat
Hey,
sheet.
you can have it.
John. Stand by. We've lost quorum.
That's an eye test.
Has Brian fixed the problem? Can we hear Brian? Brian? We can't hear you.
Normally, we can hear Brian. But I'm not, I got a text from him a few minutes ago, and I apologize for this, for losing quorum.
We've got till 6, right?
I hope we don't have to wait until 6. Oh, my. Oh, the echoing.
It's pretty scary. I can actually read that. With cataracts.
Sorry, we can't seem to get our act together
You
tonight.
back now, John?
All right.
Okay, apologies again. Ann, you're up.
Ann Blodgett. I'm here to follow up again and also hand you some proposed wording for the warrant article that has been under discussion since November 19th, and the people's petition online. There's still growing numbers and some very thoughtful comments. So I want to hand you this wording, and I know you can't respond today, but I hope you'll take it under consideration. And probably you have improvements to make in it.
I'll pass it along, Ann. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else?
You give us
Okay.
our copies.
Please.
I'd like to follow up on that.
Name, please. Give us your name.
Sebastian Tordonato.
Good evening.
Last meeting, when Ann presented her discussion, I endorsed that, and I jokingly said that I would like to have the board make a motion on accepting her suggestion. She's now presented you with language for a motion, and I continue to endorse that motion and would like to see the board make one. And as I said last time, I'll even second it if you make it. So, thank you.
Yep. Thanks. Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Stina Kindwell. There, I think that's, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm a Wolfeboro resident, and I have a couple of things that I've just a request for you guys. Well, first of all, I just want to say I support Ann and her organization's warrant. I think it's a really good idea. The second thing is I've been thinking a lot about the budget and watching meetings and looking online at what I can find online. And I do really well with graphs and charts. And I know that there's been some discussion amongst you guys to create some graphs and charts to help people understand. It's so complicated. It's really complicated, the budget. And specifically, one thing I would really love to see, if you guys can do it, is a pie chart showing, like, for every dollar that our property taxes get paid, where it goes. I know it goes to the school board or the school district, it goes to public safety, it goes to a lot of different places. But it would be really nice to have like a breakdown, like just a pie chart to show, okay, this is our operating budget, this is capital, whatever. I'm not even sure how it would be broken down. And also part of that would be great to see is how much we're spending on the debt. on debt payments. Again, just to get a sense of where that is. The other thing it would be great, so having a pie chart to show for 2026, but it would be great to get the history, so in like a line graph to see how the spending has shifted or not shifted over the years. That would just be really helpful. And the other thing, another graph, would be, especially for the debt stuff, is to see this is what we've paid over time. And then my understanding is that we're going to have to start paying more for like the public safety building, or I don't know, as things mature, just to be able to know, oh, okay, in 2 years, we're going to need to see it go, you know, we have to plan for this. And I think having that kind of information for taxpayers would really be helpful. I mean, they say a picture, so a picture says 1,000 words, and just kind of looking at spreadsheets and lines can be really mind-numbing. And I just want to also thank you guys for all of the time that you and the budget committee and the department heads and everybody puts into it, because it's a tremendous amount of work, and I really want to acknowledge that. If you guys need help, I would be happy to volunteer my time doing these charts and graphs. I'm kind of a data nerd, did a lot of it when I worked in corporate America, and I'm happy to volunteer my time. And I realize that that is kind of weird maybe, but I'm totally open. I want to be part of the solution and not just complaining. So that's one thing. The second thing is, again, coming from my years of working in corporate America, there is something called SMART goals. Are you guys all familiar with what a SMART goal is? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And these are a really common tool that many kinds of organizations, not just corporations, but many, right now I work at the Maker's Mill. We use them, we use these at the Maker's Mill to see how we're doing, you know? And they're really nice because you can really see, like, you can tell if you made the goal or if you haven't made the goal. And it's a great way of communicating to not only yourselves and your employees, but also to the community of like, here are the things that we wanted to do, here's how we're doing, this is how we did. You know, nobody's going to make their goals every time, that's impossible, we're all human. But it's just a way to clearly communicate kind of what the priorities are and the work to date on that. One last thing, do we know what the tax rate is yet? Has that been decided? I don't know if you guys can answer that. I'm hearing silence, so maybe not. Okay, I have a little handout for you guys.
Thank you.
Again, this is just for anybody who's not familiar with it.
Thank you.
And it shows like kind of the key benefits. There's some examples for town management of what a SMART goal is. I just created this using AI.
Here you go.
So these are samples. I'm not saying these are the town of Wolfeboro's, but what it does is it gives you an idea of what I'm talking about, like some weird things there. I also put my contact information at the bottom.
We'll need you to get back up to the microphone and give us a synopsis so that the rest of the public can hear what you had to say.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So I just, these are, just for the record, these are just examples. I'm not saying these should be the town of Wolfeboro. They're just examples that I pulled out, like examples for small towns. I also included my contact information here. If you need some help with charts and graphs, please reach out. Again, volunteer. I'm happy to help. So that's it. Thank you.
Anybody else want to come on up? Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Senecal, who is going to chair the rest of our meeting. So, Dave, we are done with public input. Now the conversation at hand is the docks ordinance. Jim has advised we're going in a non-public. So there we go.
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad I printed that one.
Oh, this is the one from the other day.
No, it's for today.
Okay. Discussion of the dock ordinance.
Okay, so today you received, I believe, a couple of email correspondence, which I forwarded you from Selectman Deshaies. Selectman Deshaies is online, but I'm not sure if he's able to join us. Brian, are you able to join us? Does not appear that he can. So anywho, you have those series of changes which were forwarded to you this afternoon upon my receipt. Excuse me. I went through the docks ordinance, which I sent to you guys, 2 weeks ago. We discussed about bringing this forward. And I think Brian has got some substantial changes that he wants to make to this. So as we go down through it, to give you an idea of some of the changes that were made based on our previous meetings, there was a concern about nomenclature, passenger to public under limitations on page 2. And then there was some cleanup about northeast, south, and west. I believe that has been cleaned up as you requested. From that point, as we continue to scroll through the document,
When do you want us to make comments?
well, let's get through this, and then we
Okay.
can probably start from
Okay,
scratch
thank you.
about your comments and changes and what you may want to do. Liability insurance, 1 million per occurrence, 2 million aggregate. Liability insurance is a minimal. A little bit of cleanup relative to the commercial vessel landing license. One of the questions that is still outstanding is the hours of operations. There was some comment whether or not weekends should be completely closed. There should be shorter time windows for people to pick up and drop off, et cetera. So that's still an open item. You still have an open item, whether it's 3,000 or 5,000. There was discussion on both. And then added language regarding the use of the Libby shoreline and Libby seawall for landing and docking or any other purposes is not authorized, which you guys had requested. And then the commercial passenger vessel, that lays out usage of dock 1 for pickup drop-off of passengers for up to 5 commercial businesses with a pickup drop-off time not to exceed 20 minutes per vessel landing as requested. From that addition and going in, there's just some adjustments to the numbering. There's question about the landing fee, 4 cents or 8 cents per length. And then as a result of some conversations that took place this year regarding people not securing an appropriate permit, added language in here regarding possibility of issuing a no trespass order. Added on to this document from that point is as well, and you have it in your packet, draft license agreements, which you had asked for before moving forward. So you have the amendments that were discussed. You have the draft license agreements in front of you. And I know Brian has some suggestions that he forwarded to you. I'm not sure what you as the board would like to do from this point.
Lynn?
I have a couple. First of all, I will step down for the Libby dock. My son runs a barge company, so I have definitely a conflict of interest there. But I just want clarity on page.
Brian's calling me on my cell phone now. Do you have a problem if we add Brian into this telephonically?
I don't.
Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Brian, couple quick questions. Are you not able to attend this meeting in person?
I'm connected to the go-to, but you can't physically hear me. My mic is on, and for some reason, you can't hear me.
Okay, but you are not able to physically attend the meeting, correct?
I can be there in about a half an hour.
And who's with you at this point? Anybody?
My wife is in my car with me.
Your wife is with you. Board members, do you want to allow Brian to attend telephonically?
I don't have an issue.
I haven't gone over any of the stuff that he sent us today. I made the comment last time. We came here at this meeting to have a non-public so we could go over your goals and objectives. That was our primary focus. This was put on our plate by one particular person. I really don't feel like I'm ready to step into this. I'd really like to dedicate just one day, and we can thrash through this if we have to. I still have questions about the whole thing. I think, one of the things that I think about here again is whether or not we run a town manager style of a government or we run a town administrator type of a government. And where the town manager style of a government, the town manager sets this stuff up, and then we review it, and it's all taken care of. We sound like we're running a town administrator style of government. We have one person going out there, teeing all this stuff up in front of us and putting it out there in front of us, and that's not the government that I thought we were running. So I'm not even in favor of moving forward today at all.
This is an ordinance under state statute. We as a Board of Selectmen are responsible for ordinances. So that's why it is not left on Jim. So I'll try to get you that. So,
Mr. Chairman.
But I would still like to go back to page 3, which I started, and number 11, we have a gap of time. We have it so that we start at 6 a.m. and we end at 12. That's when you have to get off the docks, and then we start up and say from 1 to 6. It should say from 12 to 6.
I just need a point of order. Are we allowing Brian to attend telephonically or not?
Thank you. I have no objection.
I'll make a motion that we allow Brian to come by phone, attend by phone.
I don't think we need a motion, but I'll second it.
Well, he wanted
I'll
it
second
clear.
I'll second it.
Just, okay, all's in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay.
Okay, Brian, you're in telephonically. I will bring you up to the mic as you need to speak.
Linda?
I just would like to, if we're going to go over it again, this I think is an error, and I think we are missing an hour. I think if the hours are from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m., and then it says no docking of boats at said dock is permitted from 1. It should say from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. so the times match. That's my...
And that's under 36.511? Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yep. And that's just a simple...
Do you have anything else?
I'm hearing that some of them don't want to do it, and that one was just so obvious. I thought I could take care of it, and
Okay.
I didn't think it would be controversial.
Paul?
It wasn't, Linda, and thanks for pointing out the omission. Would it be possible, or it's at the pleasure of the board, for Jim to read into the record what he discovered as a result of my question that I asked a week and a half ago, as it relates to what are the rest of the folks around the lake doing as it relates to commercial licenses of their dock space?
I have no problem reading it into the record if I can also then give the history going back to the 1996 master plan, then I'm fine with that.
I would have no objection with that.
Is that what you asked? You asked Jim to read it, didn't you?
Well, let me just, yes. If you can't find it, I can dig it up.
I got it.
Good. So a week and a half, or whenever the last time as we got together, I said, I just want to make sure, yes or no, to the other communities around the Lakes region, yes or no, do they lease out their docks for commercial purposes? And I'll let you take it from there, Jim.
Okay, so I did forward this spreadsheet, I believe, to the full board. This is dated 11/25/25. Alton does not rent or lease dock space for commercial use. Guilford prohibits commercial usage by policy except for loading, unloading of barges when servicing Guilford Island properties. Laconia have issued 2 leases in the past which have failed. Council has no interest in future leases. Meredith does not rent or lease dock space for commercial use. Center Harbor, commercial dock usage prohibited due to deed restrictions. Wolfeboro does not rent or lease dock space for commercial use. Tuftonboro does not rent or lease dock space for commercial use. Those are the communities around the island which I reached out to and received correspondence from their town managers or town administrators.
And just for clarity, you reached out to the town managers, town administrators, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Jim.
Yes, I think there needs to be a little history on why and how the town got into taking over the commercial dock. Based on the 1996 master plan, and after that, a warrant article approved by voters, the town wanted to rebuild the recreational docks after the Mount Washington had just rebuilt its dock. The town decided to swing the commercial Mount Washington dock out to make more space for the recreational docks, which they made longer and the space between the docks narrower. Now the town owned the commercial area with the swinging out of the dock, and which made room for the Millie B, which was built by the Eatons. Because the town owns the commercial dock, it was able to allow the Judge Sewell, which became the Winnipesaukee Belle, and other commercial vessels to use the dock and the Mount Washington slip. So this was a warrant article by the voters who wanted to own and have that commercial dock. So to me, we are following through with the tradition set in 1996, was to own the commercial dock, because before, when the Mount Washington owns it, nobody could use it.
Jim, can I speak?
Brian would like to speak. Go ahead, Brian.
So the only difference is that Laconia doesn't charge, but they allow the Mount Washington to have the Silphy Sea and the Mount Washington, and I'm not sure about the Doris E anymore, but they will also allow them to have the Winnie Belle on their docks at no charge. The Mount Washington Steamship Authority helps with doing repairs of the dock as a donation, but they don't pay any fees to be there.
Paul?
Mr. Chairman, just for clarity, the Eatons, when they contributed to the repair, that was $9,800?
I don't know how much it was, but what I can say is when we rebuilt the docks this last time commercial, there was no money.
Right, contributed.
Okay, contributed, so.
Right. The Eaton contribution came in whenever it was a while ago, but thank
It was
you for that.
about the 1996 when the whole thing happened.
20 years.
10 years ago, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, but thank you for that. And we repaired our docks, rebuilt our docks in 2023 to the sum of $250,000 on the tax rolls. That's point one. And last year, in 2023, this board voted to affirm that the Mount Washington, the Millie B, and the Mail Boat were deemed to be grand-personed, can't use the word father anymore, grand-personed in. So they're in. There was no other mention of anybody else. So I just wanted to bring us all up to date as to where we are. And as you can sense, at least for me, and I know we'll have a discussion about this, I'm asking myself a question that says, what makes us so smart that we want to continue to lease dock space to others beyond those three? And by the way, one other point. Last year, this board, I think it was unanimous, might have been 3-2, said that the commercial docks should be the place where there is commercial activity, and that implied that the mail boat, which currently, in addition to delivering mail, does tours, that mail boat moves over to the commercial dock. So that just brings us all up to date, and now we can have I think, a conversation about what to do going forward.
So I think what you should add into that is the Back Bay docks also, because we have one entity that's coming in there. We've given them a sweetheart deal and a spot in the Railroad Chamber of Commerce building to operate their business for, I think it's $1,000 a year.
That is correct.
And so then I know that Amy said somebody else came in front of us and said that they wanted to rent some docks too, but we just said, we didn't say anything to them. We just
Mr. Chairman, I
turned
don't
them
know who
away.
that person would have been, and so I would have to say, unless we know the name, it's hearsay. No disrespect to you, John, but it's hearsay. Unless somebody came to that microphone and said, I am XYZ person, I want to rent the docks, and we said, no, I would consider that hearsay. But the fact is, there is an individual who is renting dock space on the Back Bay, $1,000 a year. That's correct.
Right, but that is not covered in our
That's what I was
commercial
gonna say, that's
landing,
not-
Right.
this ordinance. That was a separate
not in the ordinance.
Separate lease
agreement.
agreement.
This is the ordinance that we're looking at here.
Right.
So we're dealing with two, if you will, two entities. One, which Linda has appropriately said can't be a party to, which is the Libby dock,
Correct.
which has traditionally been, I shouldn't say traditionally, from what I can remember, I want to launch my fishing boat, I want to launch my kids, I want to take the boat out they go. We have not charged any money for that. Barges, on the other hand, commercial vessels have used that dock. We have photographs of, maybe some destruction to the dock. We've been compelled to collect money for licenses or whatever the right permits to use the dock for the purpose of repair. So John, we're dealing with I think that over there, the commercial dock, and we're dealing with the Libby dock. The other conversation I think we should have at some point is what takes place over in the Back Bay, because I agree with you, that deserves a fresh look.
I think what we're here to do is to make sure that we have the ordinance written somewhat the way we want it, because we want to go to public hearing with this to adopt it. Am I correct?
Well,
That's what I think we're shooting towards.
I think what I'm hearing is the question of whether or not we should even be renting the dock for
Well,
commercial use.
That's a different time, John, in my opinion. This is the ordinances that we have written and rewritten. We need to get it to a public hearing so we can either adopt it or throw it away. That's what I say. Am I, Linda?
well, what I see is we have an ordinance. This is the changes to the ordinance.
Correct.
So if we took it to public hearing, it would be whether we would make these changes or not. Then we could have another public hearing on whether to
Right.
keep it or not, just so we make sure that we could have one right after another.
I mean, we could sit here and pick it
Yes, we
apart, but
could.
we need to move forward with it. We've spent a lot of time on it.
Right.
So,
Dave?
yeah,
I'll rely on the procedural discussion by my colleagues, but I'm in the similar space as I've teed it up. I'm in the space that says, why are we doing this at all? Period. I agree that the Mount Washington, the Millie B, and the mailboat have prerogative because we voted to give them prerogative to move over to the commercial dock. I've said on many occasions, this is a friend against friend, neighbor against neighbor, competitors against each other, when in fact we have people who are 50% owners of some of these vessels that actually have commercial docks that they own and lease out on an annual basis. So I'm in the why are we doing this at all for anybody else over there?
Well.
And on the Libby, I'm kind of along the lines of why are we leasing barge traffic for a barge operator that isn't necessarily operating in the town of Wolfeboro? You have a building permit, you can get to me, you get a day pass. So I'm kind of where John is, but if you all think that the right thing to do is to take this one to public hearing and then we kind of take another bite at the apple, I will sit back and ferme my la bouche.
Yeah, the reason we're doing it and allowing these commercial smaller boats, and we just finished building a dock area for them, is for the convenience of the public who want to be picked up and dropped off at the town docks. To me, it's for the public. Yes, they have a business. Why would we then allow the Mount Washington, which is also a business? We limited it to 5. We tried to control that. And I think for the community, being a tourist community, it is an asset to have those boats come in just like the jet skis here. And it's for people who come and just are at their camps for the summer. There are a lot of people who own houses off the lake who use all those recreational amenities. What we have now moved from renting a boat to go jet skiing to hiring a boat with a driver who has a license, who understands the lakes, to take them water skiing, tubing, and all the rest. In some ways, I think we're better off. It's safer. Some people who come in and take a quick test and go out there have no idea what they're doing with a boat. So to me, it makes sense. It supports our tourist community. It supports the citizens who want to be picked up and dropped off at the town docks. And so as we've had the ordinance, I think it makes sense to change it. I thought we were mainly going to look at the fee. I think the fee needed to be raised. That's where I am. I'm very comfortable with keeping an ordinance.
So isn't that what businesses are for around the lake? Like next door and across the water, they run those businesses where people can sign up and they can go rent their vessels. And when you go on to the Chamber of Commerce website and you see that there was a vessel that was promoting rentals at the Libby Museum, and then it just happened to end up in front of us getting a permit for downtown. They came in front of us. We didn't have a schedule in front of them. We had another participant that said he had 1 boat, then he had 5 boats, then he came in front of us for another fee to license all of his other boats. He didn't get fees for any of the other boats. I went down there this summer, I saw 5 boats all strung up right in front of the boat ramp, all sitting there waiting for people. Another situation where you have people landing their barges over there. How many barges does one person have? I heard that there was one person there that has 3 separate barges, but we didn't make them get 3 separate fees. So we don't even keep track of what's going on. We have a guy that takes care of the docks down there. He says, look, these guys are sitting here waiting for customers all day long. I'm trying to get the people to come in off the boat so that they can go get ice cream and go shopping and get pizza. And you got 5 slips here that are all taken up because these guys are sitting there wanting to rent boats, and we're not regulating that. He can't do a thing down there. The commercial dock, Linda, was for people to come in and drop off. It was never intended to, you connotate the wording commercial dock over there. It was a little pork chop next to the Millie Bee that was specifically for island folks. Adam Dow and you and I and Brian Black of our dock committee, we all said we want to promote this as the drop off and pickup spot. It was never for a commercialized situation. This is a bad program where we are.
Linda?
Yeah, the times has changed. We did look at one spot on the dock, but this is many years later. We're about 4 years later from that committee. I think that there's a new businesses where you are able to rent boats. I was hoping that we'd put some teeth in it, so the guy who's on the commercial docks, on the recreational docks, gets fined, and that we get him off by doing that. I believe that the commercial docks they should come in and drop off and go back out, and that's what should happen. And the recreational docks are for recreational use only, and that's what we were trying to do here. Okay, but I think the part of the problem we're having here is we are very divided on what to do here. And so when we are divided, it's hard for us to come to that common ground. And I think that's what we're struggling with this.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh.
And I agree with you, Linda. And this is good. We are going to be out there. We are thrashing right now. We're thrashing, which is good. We're supposed to do that. Just a piece of data for when we do the public hearing, Jim, if you wouldn't mind. It shouldn't be hard. How much revenue did we actually collect for this activity last year? For both the Libby dock as well as the commercial dock. Because my sensation, and I've heard Mr. Thurston say this, that what happens is people bring their boats in, pick people up. I whip out my credit card, they swipe it, I pay them whatever amount of money to take me out, and I have a great time. And John, I'm going to put you on the spot, and it's not meant to be accurate, but what was your landing? How much per landing?
I think it was $327 for the season with a sign.
Okay. So if you broke it up in terms of how many landings, it turned out to be like $1 a day or $2 a day or something like that. And the argument that I always had is I always want people coming into these town docks, credit card primed, dock hands parking them so that they can come in and buy a cup of coffee and a donut or a breakfast sandwich and then get out of town. And so to have somebody land and take off and use our docks, if the public supports wanting to do what we currently have, hey, listen, I'll lose on the vote and I'll move forward.
So
But I just think this is bass-ackwards, and I keep coming back to why are we different than others? What do they know that we don't, or what do we know that they don't? And I'll park it there.
So with that fee that they pay, these boats, Clearwater Lodges, and the other gentleman that came in front of us, they were getting $1,600 a day for their boat. And they had 5 of them lined up there, and we're getting $327 for the whole season. We're not paying for our dock hands, we're not paying for our maintenance, for anything. We are subsidizing a business with our docks.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Anybody else have any
I
more
would like to-
additions? I think we need to go to public hearing.
Well, I don't think we are until we decide what is the amount we're going to charge. There's some things that need to be here that he's asked us to decide on. You need to do, and I can't be part of that, the fee for the Libby dock, and we have to have the fee for, we're now 4 cents per foot, I think it is, yes. And do we want to move it to 8? Those are questions that we really need to answer, or we're not going to have an ordinance when we go out. So,
Dave, so to move this towards a public hearing, I think, at the risk of self-promotion, I think my offer on, or my ask early on was, if you want to do this, you want to recover your cost to operate the dock, you want to make a contribution to your repairs, and I'm going to throw another one in there. You want to compensate the dock hands. So you want to cover your cost to operate the dock, you want to cover your repairs, capital, and if we could get a contribution of the dock hands. As it relates to the Libby, we have created a piece of paper that denominates how much money we have in the bank to repair those docks, and I don't know, it's 13,000, 15,000?
48,000, I think,
Whatever the number is,
in
we
there
have
now.
it. Back in the fall, I asked Luke, because he runs a business that does this, I said, Luke, what would it take to, on an annual basis, to maintain the Libby dock? And he kindly provided a piece of paper to me, which I've shared with the entire board. So we know what the cost to fix the dock down at the Libby is. We know what the capital set aside needs to be. All we have to do is figure out whether we want to what we want to charge. And Jim, it depends on the business decision you want to make. If you want to make the business decision that we want to do business as usual, business as usual. If it's a day pass, it's a day pass. But I think Linda's right. We probably want to have some kind of a table that says, here's the fee structure, and then you put it out to the public.
Yeah, I think we need something like that, and it's what, I don't think the way it's where it is right now with the red areas, unless we answer those questions, that this is ready to go out. And I hear John saying he doesn't want to do that now. So if that's the case, then we should
Move to table.
move to another date. Or we can table and just leave it the way it is.
Yeah, so I think that the formula that we've been using for years is archaic, and that should be just scrapped. We can take and we can just, and this is why I pulled forward this piece for you, just as a thought, to move it more like a hawkers and peddlers, so a certain location becomes for a certain use on the dock. And at any time, if that location is no longer used by, say, jet skis or by the Millie Bee, we can just discontinue that service. We have that option to do that and change it as we go over the years. I also believe that we should up the rates, and we should be charging, it's going to be hard to charge a fair market value for a dock, but we could make it so that we get some money back. Are we going to get enough to do the repairs on all of the commercial and residential docks? Never. No. Never. We do try and support businesses in town. That's part of our job as a select board. So do we want some businesses to have limited use of the docks? That's something that we have to consider too. So we can use lease agreements if we want, but to me, they're long and cumbersome. We do the hawkers and peddlers with a permit just easy and quick. We let them be permitted year to year with a ability to have a right of first refusal if they want out. I can pretty much say that we can agree as a board on a couple of things. We all want the Mount Washington here. Mm-hmm. I think we all think that the Millie Bee adds kind of a cultural, neat aspect to our town docks, and people use it a lot, and it supports a nonprofit. It's like us helping them with a $35,000 or $40,000 donation a year. I think we can agree with that. The mailboat, I think we're split on. As to John's point, that little commercial area that was originally used for residential drop-on and drop-offs, that's a tough one because it does sit vacant a lot, and you can most of the time do a drop-on and drop-off at all the residential docks. But we don't want to overload that little drop-off and drop-on and pick-up area. And let's be honest, the wakeboat company has taken it too far. They're to the point where we thought they had 1 or 2 boats, and now they have 6, and they're growing. So again, the little piece that I put in front of you today, and I didn't expect anybody to decide on it today, I was putting it as another option, because then we can limit, based on what we have now, or cut back the way we want to operate commercially on the docks. And we are right. And I was talking to some people today, and they said, this is what makes Wolfeboro Wolfeboro. We try to be accommodating to people in town, the tourists, the businesses, and it's what makes us what we are. But we got to also make sure that we protect our assets and that we're not taken advantage of. with regards to barges, Glendale has a barge, but I believe it's a state dock, the Glendale where the Marine Patrol is. Harilla has a barge location, that state also. Faye's Boat Yard charges them. Guilford, I guess according to Jim, allows use if you're doing Guilford Islands. Alton allows you to pull a barge in and out and drive equipment on it, but not to load and unload at their ramp, which is at the end of Alton Bay. In Wolfeboro, we allow the barges to dock and load and unload, similar to Harilla and to Glendale. We don't have to do that, but it does create a triangle for the businesses around the lake. And there are a lot of barge companies, 15, 20 barge companies on the lake now. And it gives them a triangle so that they can go from Harilla, they can go from Wolfeboro, they can go over from Glendale. So, and I'm sorry I was late. I had a surgical consult for my wife tonight.
Well,
Thanks for that, Brian. Welcome back. So you advanced an idea of a hawker and peddler. Would the incumbents be the incumbents?
Well, that's the way we do it for hawkers and peddlers. Hot Dog Bob has been there for how many years? And nobody wants to displace Hot Dog Bob.
I think he's asking you a very valid question.
Yeah.
He's asking,
the
are
incumbent
we
the incumbent?
going to
Yeah.
start?
And that's the way the
So you'd say if you have whatever, you're the incumbent, you're in.
correct.
Okay, so that's interesting. I did find, and I'll be glad to send it again for the Libby docs, because I do believe we heard a couple of people say, you can never recover all the money from the leases you have, so somebody's got to pick up the tab for the incremental cost, which is me and you, and that's okay if you want to do that. I did dig up the calculation for the Libby dock. And I'll send it over to the board. I mean, we need to put $6,500 a year. If we have the current operation, we need to put $6,500 a year in the bank for capital, and we need to put another $4,000 on the dock, which means every year we have to spend $10,500 if we currently have the current set of barges come in or more, okay? And we're not collecting that kind of money. So once again, we have to make a decision or take a decision that says, do we bank this money, fix the docks, and not collect, or do we simply have a change of model?
Can you repeat that? How much money do we need a year?
So this was from Luke. Useful life of the dock is 20 years,
Yeah.
assuming that we bubble it, which we don't, right? Because we use that for jet skis in the wintertime.
Yeah, we have no electricity down
I
there.
understand. So we need to put some kind of a curtain around the dock. This is getting into the minutia. I apologize.
I'm just asking for the number.
I understand. To replace the dock would cost you $45,000. To replace the ramp would cost you $10,000. A quote to replace the current dock in its current condition was $6,680, which came over last year. So each year, in order for us to keep this thing going, we have to collect roughly $10,000.
We got 9,000 last year.
1,000 short.
So again,
Well-
go back to the thing that I said. If we have this as a location, do we charge by craft or do
Well, that's
we
what I mean.
charge by vendor?
No, I agree. You could do the same thing, or you have to change the model.
Yeah. If you charge by craft and somebody's bringing in 2 different vessels, then they have 2 different fees.
all right.
What do you want
I
to
don't
do?
want to belabor this too long, but I think it sounds like, to me, we're stuck on fees. So I think we ought to table this until we have some fee structures other than what's in the ordinance right now.
So,
Everybody agree with that?
well, I think it's more than that, because Brian has introduced a lottery, or not a lottery, but
Well-
a hawkers and peddlers concept.
I
I think that's related to fee structure, though.
Yes, I agree, Dave.
So I think that we need to table this until we can come up with different types of fee structures to incorporate in this. But on the other hand, is there anything else that we need to look at to change, physically change in the ordinance itself, not the fees.
I think there was one, it was talking about hours of commercial use shall
Well,
be.
the one that you just brought up?
Yep.
He made that change, I think, and
Yeah.
there's the hours, it's all the ones that are in pink in the packet he gave us. And I don't know if you guys have read it, and I think that they haven't read it, so,
I have.
oh,
I've
okay.
read it.
I think-
The other one was the location of the docks, easterly, westerly, or whatnot. Those don't match with what's physically there.
If we agree with everything, the one I think we really need is under 36-9-6, that was the hours of operation. The other ones are red, I think were changes he's made. If we're comfortable with the changes he's made that are in red, I think the thing we need to answer is at the time that we want, which is not the one where I found the gap.
And we never really, I didn't see any markups, unless they were earlier, I didn't see any markups on island residents. They're good? We're okay with that? I am. Good. So if I understand correctly, Mr. Chairman, we'll schedule a next meeting to look at the fees. Following that, we'll schedule a public hearing to ask the voters to give us some input. But following that, depending on how the motion goes, the next motion could be, why are we doing this at all? Is that kind of the process
Yep.
you want to lay out?
That's what I would say, yes.
I'm okay with that.
So we're not going to answer the question on number 6 under 36-9. Is that what we want in terms of the hours of operation? I'm not going to vote on it. It is under the, let's see.
36-9C?
No, I guess
six.
that, yeah, no, that's under the Libby. He's asking us, that one is the hours of operation. I think that's a question I can't answer.
We're talking about an hour, right? Is it a typo? It's inconsistent in the rest of the document.
So Linda, you're talking 36.5, number 11.
No, I took care of that before. I'm
Okay.
looking at
So that was done.
36-9, number 6, and it's the hours of operation. Are we in agreement with those?
So previously, there was conversations whether or not the length of the docking time should be shorter, and if Saturdays should not be authorized. That's my recollection on the conversation.
So this is the Libby, Linda, that you're talking
That
about?
is correct.
The Libby that you were offering thoughts on?
No, I'm saying you haven't answered. I'm not answering the question. I'm
okay.
saying under
thought I heard Jim say you were
36-9, number 6. The one I took care of before is in another section.
There's another section.
This is stuff that if we're going to move it forward, and we're saying we're comfortable with everything but the fees, this is a question I think Jim still needs answered. And I can't answer it because it's in the section, but I'm just trying to help you along to let you know that's one of the things he needs to know.
So I know that there's a sign there on a big tree there by the Libby that says,
That's the point. The sign
Yeah.
and this are,
Yes.
that's
And
the
where
point.
you're to park,
The point
yes.
is, the sign says A and this
Yeah,
says
the
B,
sign-
and people are going, which one of the two should I do? That's the problem.
the sign on the tree is put on by the homeowner that lives next to it that says, "You're loud in the morning, you're waking my grandkids up, and it's the weekend, so stop doing what you're doing." But that's, our ordinance allows construction to start at 7 a.m. in the morning, so.
It does.
I mean, we're gonna do something that's not consistent.
Our ordinance is 6 a.m., except on Sunday, it's
No, it's not 6 AM.
You mean I can come over and start cutting trees down at your house at 6 in the morning?
So we don't have any enforcement here also, Jim. There's no, so if somebody comes to our town docks down there, they got 5 boats down there, who are we gonna send down there to say, look, you're out of here, and the person says, middle finger, and says, go ahead, send me packing. Then where are we? I mean, this opens the whole can of worms. This is what I want to avoid.
36-11 tells us about the violations and the penalty, and that we can pursue a no trespass order. What you're saying is, can we enforce it?
Can we enforce?
But this document has the money
Police
and
department
the
has.
process.
Police department has the authority.
So in speaking with legal, the trespass order is the most effective way to deal with somebody who's not complying with our regulations, because then it becomes a matter of law.
Linda's question.
All right,
Linda's question stands. What do you want to do about 36?
yes.
I can't answer it, boys.
Linda can't answer it. What do you think we should do, Jim?
So I wouldn't see where it is a big deal to limit this to Monday through Friday and close it off on Saturdays, period. I really don't.
Unless
Between
there's force
fishing
majeure, right?
activities, neighbors, et cetera.
I'll be okay with that.
So the noise ordinance, just so we know, is 6:30 a.m. Monday through Saturday to 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. on Sunday to 10 p.m.
That's a noise.
It's earlier than everybody thinks, so it's 6:30. I thought it was 6, but it's not 7, it's 6:30. That's Chapter 100 noise ordinance.
All right, what do we want to do?
So why don't we just
I think
align?
that the takeaway on this is, you know what? We can't make a decision, so why don't you get to the public hearing and take input on that
So
topic
what I would
if the
do,
board can't make a decision?
I would make a decision, I'd follow our noise ordinance, put in the same verbiage on our noise ordinance, if that's what we're going to do, or then our noise ordinance doesn't mean anything. So follow the same ordinance. If you want to change the noise ordinance, there we go, there's another thing on our plate, we can change that too. But I would follow the noise ordinance, and if we're going to put it in, it goes 6:30 to 10, Monday through Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. End of story. We already have it on the books. That's my motion.
There's a second?
I'll make a comment on the noise ordinance. I do not believe this dock is open on Sunday, and it's only half-day on Saturday, and I think the question is, and I thought Jim presented, don't open it on Saturday to help with the noise to the neighbor. And that has nothing to do with the noise ordinance. We can start it at 6:30 for those other days if that's the case. But I think the question is, do you want it open on Saturday or not?
I would say no. That would be my opinion, to help the neighbors in the area.
It's hard to imagine
Still-
somebody would be conducting barge operations on a Saturday unless something went wrong.
Oh, I think they work.
They work on Saturdays
They
and
work.
Sundays. They have a
I'm just trying to
limited,
be kind here.
They have
It's
a-
hard to imagine unless something went wrong, so I would say maybe
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, and Saturday, it doesn't happen.
They find another spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we know that they have a limited year, time of year that they can work. They work ice out to ice in, and they work 7 days a week.
Not asking for this day, it'd be interesting to know how many building permits were pulled for Wolfeboro Islands and shorefront properties. I don't want to know that answer. I'm not asking you to do staff work.
All right, so let's follow the noise ordinance and do 6:30 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we'll keep them closed Saturday and Sunday. Is that a motion? Anybody want to second it?
Second.
Okay. We had enough discussion?
More than enough.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Thanks, Linda.
I'm abstaining too.
Okay. 3-2.
The beauty of this is we can change this next week.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
no.
we can,
That's the beauty. That's
I
also.
think we
the
ought to
ugliness
table
of
this and
coming
move
this
it
week.
to,
Keep changing our mind.
after the first of the year, the middle of January, and then we can go over it again.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that, John.
I said, I
wants to
think,
move it to the second meeting in January.
not the second meeting, I want its own meeting and not another meeting.
Okay.
I want its own meeting by itself.
Public hearing, John?
Work session.
Work session, specifically
we get
just for this, no other topics.
Okay, I'll second that.
Sure.
Those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay,
That takes care of
thank you.
that one.
We have public comments again. Anybody want to talk to us again?
Ann Blodgett, some of you weren't here, so I'll give you the piece of paper that I handed out before. And I know you're meeting again on Wednesday, so we're asking for consideration. Secondly, there's a lot of chatter online about what the tax rate is. I know you're not going to answer me, but maybe you could, in your closing comments, announce what it is. Because I've seen differing information out there, and I'm sure citizens would like to hear from you guys what the real number is. Thank you.
Thanks, Ann.
Jim, do you have a real number?
Would you like me to give that, Mr. Chairman? Would you like me to give that information?
Here it comes.
The municipal tax rate, what it takes to operate the town itself, $3.21 per thousand. The county tax rate, 71 cents per thousand. Local education, $3.37 per thousand. State education, $1.07 per thousand, for a total tax rate of $8.36.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
And this is a question through to Jim. So on Wednesday night, you're planning to do a short presentation on this?
Correct. There will be a Excel document up on the screen that shows the comparison of the 2025 tax rate to the 2024 tax rate.
So I did a quick dig going on to the tax cards and checking about a dozen houses in my neighborhood, and most all of them, the taxes were flat from last year to this year based on the new tax rate and the new valuation. So I don't know how that's going to play out compared to the whole town. I can't say everybody's is going to stay flat, but for my neighborhood, the way we are assessed and trying to compare apples to apples, ours came out relatively flat compared to the first bill that we got this year.
So the calculation is assessment divided by 1,000 times the tax rate? Is that kind of the math?
So we have to take gross expenditures, we have to back out all the revenues, we have to back out the overlay, we have to back out the veterans' tax credits, and then we have to add in the $1.25 million that the board approved to give you the tax effort, and then from that point, you take that number and divide that out by 1,000, and that gives you the tax rate. But it'll be laid out side by each from 2024 to 2026, or excuse me, 2024 to 2025 on Wednesday night. Additionally, the tax bills, I believe, they will be out by the 9th, and they will be due on January the 9th.
Jim, I thought we were going to sign that warrant tonight.
Have it right here.
Okay, so the public needs to know that that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Yep, you have it for signing this evening.
And so the public knows, we're not trying to hide a tax rate from anyone. We have statutory requirements by the state for when we have to do certain things and when we have to sign our new rate. Jim giving out the information tonight is great, but we do have to follow statutory regulations for everything we do.
I'm assuming you need a motion for us to sign, because it
No, it's a
usually
warrant.
goes on our bulk vote, doesn't it? I think we usually.
If you want to make a motion to sign the warrant, that's fine. I don't think it's required, but if you want to make a motion to sign.
I'll make a
the-
motion that we sign the 2025 second tax warrant.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next on our agenda is non-public. Somebody want to make a motion?
To adjourn?
I'll make a motion to go into non-public.
Second.
In favor?
I will, yes.
Get out of here by 6, you think?